Hey there guys, welcome back to Calico Cow Acres. I'm Mickayla if you're new here, and today we are going to be going through, let's try that again. And today we're going to be going through all of the seeds that I bought for our 2025 gardening season, and it's quite a few. This year I really tried to focus heavily on purchasing local as possible as I can for seeds. And that is because I honestly just think that they do better in my garden if they're more adapted to this environment. We get really hot summers here, so I want to be able to give my plants the best chance. A lot of the seeds from local companies are open pollinated heirlooms that I can save seed from in the future, so they'll even be further adapted to my garden and my specific climate. And then there's the whole other overarching fact that my region got hit very hard with a hurricane this past year, and I want to support local businesses as much as I possibly can in the midst of that. My hierarchy of seed purchasing this year went in a very specific way. I bought from 5 seed companies, and I will probably buy some other things from our local little nursery shop, but they're not open right now, so I have to wait probably another few weeks before they open up. But here's how it went. I went through all of the seeds that I have from previous years, took stock of what I wanted to grow again, what I needed from that list, and then I started with my favorite local seed company to my area, which is Asheville, North Carolina. And that is So True Seed. And so I got everything from them on my list that I possibly could. And then I went to Eden Brothers and I purchased a handful of seeds from them because they're also close to Asheville. I didn't get tons from them because their seeds actually tend to be a little bit more expensive. And as much as I'd like to say, I just willingly bought all of the more expensive seed just because cost is something that I had to factor in. So local was definitely not the only factor, but it is something that I tried to do when possible. And then I went to MIGardener, which is not local to me, but it used to be very local to me when I lived in Michigan. And I also have an affiliate link for them. So their seeds are already very affordable, and then I have a discount code for them. I obviously bought some seeds from them because that is part of the monetary factor. And then I still had some seeds left over that these 3 companies didn't have on their websites, so I looked even further and went to other sites and purchased the seeds there. And those last 2 companies I got seeds from were Johnny's and Botanical Interests. I'm gonna do it by category of like type of plant, and then within each of those categories, I'm gonna say all the ones from MIGardener, all the ones from So True Seed, all the ones from Botanical Interest, yada yada. So they're all gonna be kind of organized, and I'm gonna try and pop them on the screen, pictures of them, either the seed packet or the actual picture of the plant, because some of these seed packets, 1, are gonna be hard to see, and 2, they don't all have photos on them, and I want you guys to be able to see the beautiful plants that are gonna be coming from these seeds. So I will put pictures on the screen. And one last thing before I get into the list, I just want to say this at the top of the video before I forget. My friend Sage from Terra Nova Acres and I have a podcast called She Said Homestead on here, on YouTube, and on your other favorite podcast platforms. And we were actually having So True Seed, an employee at So True Seed, on as a guest for the podcast to talk to them about the company and just what they stand for, how it came to be, and I'm sure we'll get into a whole bunch of other questions with them. So I'm really excited to talk to them. That's happening in a couple days for me, but by the time you see this video, we will have already recorded. And I think the episode comes out in a few weeks. So if you're interested in listening to that, getting a deep dive on So True Seed as a company, which I really love what they stand for, it's women-owned, employee-owned, and it's local to me. If you're interested in listening to that, keep an eye out. Go to She Said Homestead podcast, subscribe to that, and keep an eye out for the episode coming up in a few weeks. All right, without further ado, let's get into this giant seed haul. I'm gonna start with the non-flower things, so veggies, I guess, for the most part. And I'm gonna start with these big packages because then I could get them out of my way. To start off with, from Johnny's, we have Jade bush beans. We got this huge package from them. And then we also got Dragon's Tongue bush beans, another huge package from them. From Eden Brothers, we have Ford Hook 242 lima bean seeds. I accidentally planted vining lima bean seeds this year, and that was a mistake. I didn't think that they were, but they were. So I made sure to get a bush variety this year. And then lastly for beans, I have Scarlet Emperor pole runner beans. These have really pretty flowers, and those are actually gonna go on my cottage garden trellis because I think they'll be really pretty. Okay, I'm gonna start with tomatoes because I feel like that's everybody's favorite. At least it's one of my favorites. So we're gonna start off with MIGardener. I'm gonna start off with MIGardener every single category. And we're gonna start off with the orange currant tomato. I got these specifically for my ducks because they just adore a little popping tomato snack, and I like growing them just for them. I don't really eat tomatoes just like by myself. I don't walk out there and just eat tomatoes. So like the little currant tomatoes, I might actually grow these in their run for them. Next we have Dr. Weish's yellow tomato. I've never grown that one before. That's a new one to me. Then next we have So True Seeds, purple calabash tomato. Then we have the Amish paste tomato from So True Seed, just a staple paste tomato. Then the black crim tomato from So True Seed. And then from Johnny's, I specifically got these two because Sage told me that I needed to try this one and it might change my mind about eating plain tomatoes like straight off the plant. So we're gonna try Sun Gold, and Johnny's was the only place that I could find the Sun Gold available when I was buying my seeds. I like to grow San Marzano. In particular, this is San Marzano 2. That is all of the new tomatoes this year. That's not all I'm growing. I have a whole bunch more seeds that I didn't have to buy this year that I'm not going through. So I will have more varieties than this, but those are just the new ones for this year. Next, we are moving on to peppers. Again, I only got a handful of peppers this year, and they're all actually from MIGardener because I have so many other pepper seeds left over from previous years. So I have the Alma paprika pepper. I would love to try and grow some paprika to dry and powder and to make smoked paprika because I like regular paprika, but we use smoked paprika in cooking way more than regular. So I'm interested to see if we can accomplish even growing enough to powder. We'll see. I'm excited to try them. I've never eaten a paprika pepper. And then, as usual, habanada. Taylor loves habanero peppers, but I do not. I am not good with spice, you guys. I am such a baby when it comes to spice. So I like to use the habanada to get that flavor. Then we're gonna go giant Marconi seasoning peppers. And lastly, we're gonna grow Fresno chilies. The reason I got these in particular, I have some other varieties that I might blend in with these, but I'm hoping to harvest these green and use them to can my own diced green chilies because we use those in a lot of things. We've been obsessed with this one specific chili recipe that I came up with this year, and we have it all the time. And every time I pour a can of diced green chilies into the crock pots, I'm like, I could have done this myself. I could have preserved these. So that is a goal that I have for this year. I've got some cucumbers, and my all-time go-to favorite is Muncher because I feel like they work pretty well for pickles, but I also love snacking on them. So they're kind of like the in-between versatile, could go either way cucumber. But then I also got Sumter cucumbers, which are specifically pickling cucumbers. And then I've never tried these before, but I've heard very mixed reviews on them. They look fun to grow regardless, but Taylor always has me make spicy pickles for him, and I thought that he would like this as like a fun little snack. So I got these cucamelons, the Mexican sour gherkins, just to make spicy pickles out of, and I also thought they'd be really fun to give to my birds as snacks. So that's another factor. Next we have a few herbs. We've got dark green flat leaf parsley from MIGardener. I just kind of pour this out in the garden and let it grow, let it do its thing, go to seed if it needs to. So I don't really know if I need this, but I didn't have any extra seeds, and I figure I'd rather have a package of them to use and not need them than to have to find some at the store last minute, and yeah. So I figured I'd just have that on hand. I usually grow a lot of parsley and dry it for the year, and then it lasts most of the winter here because we have such a mild climate most of the time. And then next from Johnny's, I got Genovese basil and really big package of dill seed because I have a really hard time with dill here because our soil is such solid clay still that the soil dries out really easily, and it has a hard time germinating here because of the aggressive sun, because of the way the soil is. I've had a hard time growing dill, so I figured I'd get myself a really big package and have a little wiggle room, and then I can also grow some in our cottage garden to add to flower bouquets and stuff. Okay, the next category I'm calling random, but they obviously have their own categories. I just only have one or two of each of these, so I just put them all together. So we are gonna grow Swiss chard. I've got rainbow Swiss chard from MIGardener, the assorted beet mix from MIGardener, Hill Country red okra, which I love using okra in bouquets. I don't love eating okra, but I think it's so pretty, and especially this variety, I think it would add so much beauty and texture and just an interesting element to a bouquet. The next thing is just plain old green tomatillos from So True Seed. Then we've got the small gourd mix, just like decorative gourds from Eden Brothers. A mini broccoli hybrid variety from Johnny's that mine and Sage's friend Vanna, who is a local organic farmer here, she grows this variety. It is BC 1611 F1. So like it doesn't even have a name, but she swears by this variety. So I figured I'd try it and see if I can get broccoli to grow because I've struggled with it in the past. Baby choy bok choy from Botanical Interests. We love a good baby bok choy. And the next category that I think I have the most of out of everything is summer squash, winter squash, and pumpkins. I just kind of put them all together. So from MIGardener, we've got honey nut squash. It's just a really sweet little butternut squash. A local variety to me, which is green striped cushaw squash. I got some from a local farm earlier this year, and I tried to save seeds, and they ended up getting moldy because we were in the middle of a renovation and it just didn't work out. So I just got some seeds and we're gonna try growing them ourselves. Blue Hubbard squash, which I think is usually a trap crop. I always forget if it's Jardale pumpkins or Blue Hubbard because they look similar. I think it's Blue Hubbard though. Jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, sugar pie pumpkins, Jardale pumpkins. I'm not gonna try and pronounce this, but it's Cinderella pumpkins with a really long name before it. The Cinderella ones are like the reddish orange that are like really flat, and I think they're super cool looking. Winter luxury pumpkins. They look like they have almost an egg bloom on them, and they're kind of speckly. They're really cute. Baby boo pumpkins. We've got yellow scallop squash, green scallop benning squash. This is the coolest color. I don't know why this specific color of squash makes me think of the Scooby-Doo fruit snacks growing up, where there was like that bright blue opaque one and all of the other ones were like the semi-translucent, but then there was that one that was the best flavor. This gives me those vibes. From So True Seed, we've got Tramontino. I've never grown this before, but we're switching up our trellis locations this year a little bit, so I have more dedicated trellis space. And then we have summer squash, gray zucchini. And then we've got Rondinese summer squash, which is like a round 8-ball zucchini. Black Beauty zucchini, which is just a straight up plain old zucchini, nothing fancy. And lastly, my favorite one, this one's actually from Botanical Interest, and they sell it in their online shop. I don't think they sell it in stores where they have their stuff in stores. This was the only pumpkin that really grew well for me that the squash bugs and borers left alone last year. So I'm definitely growing this forever. It's so cool. I love the name. And it literally is like a mini black acorn squash pumpkin type of thing. They're so cool. I'm very excited to grow that again. Then I didn't order these. I've got these free lettuce seeds. Botanical Interest and MIGardener always send a free package of mixed lettuce salad mixes. So don't ever buy salad seeds. Just order from MIGardener or Botanical Interest and you'll get free ones. I have more free seeds than I know what to do with. I've got a few onion varieties that I actually ordered this fall. So these packages are opened and I did use them. I did start a fall garden. I did start these seeds for the fall, and then we had the hurricane and I lost all motivation and did not touch the garden after that because we were in the middle of the renovation, hurricane happened, and I was like, you know what? we're not going to push ourselves. We are going to wait until the spring garden, and we're going to prepare ourselves. We're going to rest and not worry about the fall garden this year. So these are open, but I still have plenty of seeds left in them for this year. They are Texas Early Grano onion, red Creole onion, and white grano onion. And in addition to these, I probably will get the starts, not sets, like the green starts from our local nursery. They did so well for us last year, better than any onions, and I'm still not 100% confident in my onion seed starting skills. I'm not great at it yet. I'm still working out the kinks for myself. But the starts did really well last year, so I'm gonna get more of those. They were really cheap from my local nursery. I just pulled up this list on my phone because I do have a couple of things on order that aren't quite shipping yet. They have to ship still. So I'll be growing French red shallots as well. Those are from So True Seed. I believe those are sets. And then I will also probably be getting some local seed potatoes from our local nursery. I will probably get some from Tractor Supply if our nursery doesn't have the varieties that I want, but they did last year, so I'm counting on them to have them again, hopefully. And then I ordered a small package of fingerling potatoes from So True Seed that still has to ship, and that's just a combination of banana fingerlings and Amarosa fingerlings. I think it's just a pound of each, so just a tiny amount. And then I also have some that we saved from last year that I'll be replanting, hopefully. I wanted to split these in half with veggies and flowers because I know some people just don't care about one or the other. So if you are one of those people, we're on to flowers now. If all you wanted was veggies, you can leave, or you can stick around and support my channel. So we have a lot of flower seeds, probably about the same amount as veggies. I don't know for sure if we're gonna get to all of these. Okay, just like the others, we are gonna start with MIGardener, and we're gonna start off with Pompous Plume Celosia. I loved these this year. They were really pretty. They were mostly this like light lavender purple color, and they grew pretty well in my garden, and I was actually able to dry and save some of them, and they're still hanging in my kitchen, and I think they're really pretty. Then we have Apricot Status, Red Spike Amaranth, Velvet Queen Sunflowers, Pink Surprise Calendula. I've grown these every year, and they are just so pretty. I love them so much. They're like the perfect blush color, and they like the cold weather, so they last a really long time here. German Chamomile is the last one from MIGardener. Now we're gonna go to Eden Brothers and Johnny Seeds, so I'm definitely gonna make sure those are on the screen because they don't have pictures. Johnny's and Eden Brothers, if you're listening, put pictures on these. I know they have a lot of information on them, but seed packets are so much more fun to go through and look at when they have pictures. We're gonna start off with some zinnias. I grew a ton of just like the mixed giant California random color zinnias this year, and I love them, actually the last 2 years, and I love them so much, but I wanted to get a little bit more variety in specific colors, starting to get those mixed into the situation now that I feel confident in my growing skills of zinnias. So I got Cupcake Pink Mix zinnias from Eden Brothers. I got Isabellina zinnias. Then we got some poppy seeds as well from Eden Brothers. I got Thai Silk Pink Champagne and Iceland Mixed Poppy Color seeds. And I feel like I forgot to mention that part of the reason I got my own huge batch of flower seeds is because I'm planning to take the cottage garden to the next level this year, really get it planted on time, try and get everything out there and put together so it actually looks like a garden, because I got a late start on it last year and there was like a handful of things. I got my herbs established, but the flowers were sort of lacking and the weeds did take over again. So I'm gonna do a reset on that, try and get things planted on time this year so we have a whole bunch of flowers. Then we have Strawberry Fields Gumfrina, Audrey White Gumfrina. The reason I got those two is because I thought it would be really cool if I can grow them, save a bunch of the flower heads and make a garland for them for like Christmas time because they're red and white, and use that as like Christmas decor, maybe on the Christmas tree or up on the mantle behind me. Something like that would be really fun to say that I grew and did that. I did it with marigolds and some zinnias this fall and I really enjoyed it. So I think it'd be cool to do it with red and white ones for Christmas time. And then I got another zinnia variety, Cinderella Peach. We got this wonky looking seed packet of Voyage to First Love pelleted Lisianthus seed, which I'm excited to grow these. I need to actually start these like tomorrow. I probably should have started them today, but I'm filming and editing videos today instead. Then we got Orange Button Calendula because I loved the name and I thought they were so freaking adorable. Just super cute. And then lastly from Johnny's we got Eucalyptus, I don't know if I'm gonna say this, Terraticornis? I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's pretty. It's gonna go in bouquets and it smells good and I'm gonna put it in my greenhouse. I just got a couple of packets from Botanical Interest for this. We got, again, another Gomphrena variety, the Fiery Sunrise blend, which they're so pretty. Gomphrena are just like this whimsical, magical thing that I want everywhere in my life. I think I'm probably gonna have to put those out front once we do the whole front beds after excavating and waterproofing and stuff. I'm excited for that because it's gonna look like a cottage witchy fairy garden house at that point and it's gonna be cool. And then lastly from Botanical Interest I got the Oopsie Daisy Calendula. Again, the name got me. I can't, they just have such good names and I can't resist. And they're really pretty, so. The rest of these, there's still so many. So we're gonna start off with a few varieties of amaranth. We've got Golden Giant. A lot of these don't have pictures, sorry. We've got Montana Popping Amaranth, Love Lies Bleeding Amaranth. Then we've got a Single Rainbow Aster, English Single White Daisy. There's a lot of daisies in here. Painted Daisy, African Flake Daisy, Tall Mixed Straw Flowers. Straw flowers are another really cool thing because they're so easy to save. Okay, next we have the Pincushion Scabiosa. Then we have Gloriosa Daisy Rudbeckia. Rudbeckia is like Black-Eyed Susan. Oh, there we go. Black-Eyed Susan, Rudbeckia. One of my favorite flowers that I've ever seen, ever grown is the Mexican sunflower, also called Tithonia. Those things get so freaking huge. They're like shrubs and they're so pretty. Next is Lemon Mint Bee Balm, Purple Coneflower Echinacea, Roman Chamomile, Terra Mixed Snapdragon. I grew snapdragons for the first time last year and they were so pretty. I don't think I'll ever not grow them again. Like I have to have them every year now. Moonflower, which is so cool. Guys, I'm obsessed with moon things. I am a Cancer sign, obsessed with the moon. Like every time we go out to close up our birds at night, Taylor always has to be like, come on, let's go do what we need to do because I just stop and stare at the moon. It's really mesmerizing. I love it. Then we have Excelsior Mix Foxglove. Don't come at me about the foxglove. We have Russell Mix Lupin, which is really cool. I've never grown lupin before. We have Sweet William, Dianthus. I have another package of this from whatever generic like Burpee or one of the seed companies that you can get at like Lowe's, big box stores and stuff. Dahlia Single Mix. I've grown these. I think I got the MIGardener package of these last year. I really like them. I actually saved some of the tubers from them. And you just really never know what you're gonna get with a seed dahlia, so we'll see how those ones turn out. It's always a fun surprise. Then we have Love in a Mist Nigella. Honestly, I've never grown this either. I have heard of the name before, but I've never really like looked into what that is, so another surprise. Then we have Tall Blue Bachelor Buttons. Always a pretty flower. Edible Flower Mix, which funny name, but it looks like it has borage, chives, calendula. It's got a whole bunch of pictures on the seed packet. Oh, duh, it has varieties on the back. I'll read them to you. Hyssop, English daisy, borage, calendula, cornflower, cilantro, chives, Wee Willie Dianthus, which that's a hilarious name. I need to look that up. Lemon mint, nasturtium, pansy, and Johnny Jump Up. I have never heard of that before. I've got a few things to research now. That is all of the seeds that I have for the 2025 Maine growing season. I don't think I'll have to buy any for the fall gardening season, but we'll just see. I'm curious if you have any favorite local to you seed companies that you can put in the comments below that maybe they're small companies and you can help bring some attention to them to other people in the comments. I'm curious what varieties you are most excited to grow. Let me know down below. And in general, I'm just very excited for this upcoming season. I feel like I'm going into it the most prepared I've been. I feel like it's starting to become more intuitive being on this property, going into our 3rd year here. The soil is improving and I'm getting in the flow. It feels great. I feel more prepared than I have the last 2 years, so I'm not going to discount that. Like I said earlier, don't forget to check out the She Said Homestead podcast and subscribe so that you can get notified in a few weeks when we have So True Seed on as a guest. I'm so excited to meet with them. I'm going to leave all of these seed companies in the description below. We do have an affiliate link for MIGardener, so I'm going to leave that one at the top. But like I said, if you're local to our area, So True Seed and Eden Brothers are like right there. They are less than an hour from me. And stay tuned for our next videos. We're going to be getting our greenhouse up. I'm so pumped about that. I've had it for over a month now, just sitting in our camper waiting to be put together. So that's coming. Cottage garden content is coming soon. Seed starting. All of the things. So make sure you subscribe, leave a comment below, like this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.